So I think the first order of business then would be to look at the minutes from the last meeting as provided, and Margaret is agreeing to share.
You know what? I
prematurely, perhaps.
Well, let me. I'm gonna minimize this and go to that actual. Okay, I think I might be able to do it now. Let me share those. Yep. Okay. And
so Julie, Mary had some comments.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
also,
I just emailed a few minutes ago. I looked at them and emailed out a couple things.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said there. So, Julie, I don't know if you'd gotten a chance to see that. It was actually just pretty much just came out.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
It's basically changing financial. You're the clerk, not the secretary.
Finance committee clerk.
I didn't get that. Whoever sent
Mary sent it at 6:56. So
well,
I just have to refresh.
Yeah, it just went out. I looked at them preparing for this meeting and decided that I'd write it down, make it easy to follow. Yeah, so for so I can make changes to the terminology, and then Mary, your points about the 3 different things. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Do you just want them all under one bullet point then? One number? I just didn't know if you connected Riverbridge and the Sennies and what was going on, because it was all part of the same topic, but it was discussed at different points during the meeting. That's all I was trying to, and I know you're new to some of this stuff, so I didn't know whether you realized that they're interrelated. I knew they were the same one. I can see how you're saying the way it's written up. I didn't write them being connected.
Yeah, I don't think it changes any meaning to the minutes. I'm sure it needs to change.
Nope. That was more for information, Julie, than anything else. So. Okay. Thank you. If I just change those text things, we can approve this. And
I make a motion to approve minutes with corrections made by Julie.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, roll call. Stan, aye.
Mary, aye.
Janet, aye.
Julia, aye.
4-0, it's anonymous. All righty. So moving on to, well, I know that this was still new business, but actual new business. I never really look at the minutes as being new business. I don't know why. I guess it's because it always deals with the last meeting, so it doesn't feel like new business for whatever reason. So it's probably time to start talking about some budgets. What do you say there, Margaret?
Okay, let me share the screen here. Oh, I have to go back into, I'm sorry. This is what happens with Gmail. Let me just quickly go back in and get back into the drive. Okay, there we go. So I think I'm just going to show you around the drive tonight, because this is kind of new.
You're going to drive us around the drive?
I'm going to drive you around the drive. Let's take a drive around the drive. All right. Yeah. So this has been shared with all of you. And so what I've done so far is I've done little subfolders for various things. So budget spreadsheets. We've got FY21 because I thought that would be a good point of reference, especially since we're talking about level funding. And we probably can't expect too much movement on the revenues. So what we have in here is FinCom's final approved budget summary in PDF and Excel, and then the final working budget as approved by FinCom. In FY22, I do not have the draft budget in there yet, but I've created the template for FY22, the working budget spreadsheet. So I'm going to be filling that in now that we've got some budget requests submitted, most budget requests submitted. And then I've got all the
I was gonna
FY22
say, it looked
budget.
like pretty much.
Yeah, it's quite a few, but we still have a
Sorry.
few that are under review and then a few others that just have not been turned in yet. So
Well, I gotta say though, Margaret, it's so nice having them electronically though, instead of stacks of paper.
isn't it nice? Yeah,
It
it's
really
nice.
is.
They can be at your fingertips all the time. So here are the
Absolutely.
memos and instructions that came with the budget packets. I think I have to add a few more things because there's other budget packet materials like the calendar and things like that that aren't here. And then of course the budget requests themselves. So these are the budget request packets that have come in. You can sort them either by name, which I have them sorted here. It just makes it easier for me by account number. You could do it by the date they've been submitted, which I did upload some this morning. So you'd be able to always see the newest budget requests that come in. So if, I'll show you.
See who the stragglers are.
So you can see the stragglers are, yeah. So if you just click last modified, you'll see that there's a whole slew of them that were up, well, it goes upwards. Let me go down. So here's the newest ones that were filed today. So you could sort by name, which is what I do. Upward. Okay. So I'm going to continue to add more of those. June gave me a couple more later today that I didn't have a chance to upload, so I'll be uploading those. So go in to the link. All of you should have access to it, and you'd just be able to move around inside the FY22 budget packet. And then finally, I have a couple of things I didn't bother putting in folders, just a couple of guidelines, your free cash guidelines, policies, the budget calendar guide, your budget schedule, meeting schedule, and things like that. So we can add other items as we move along.
Nicely organized.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Margaret,
you. Way better. And here I am sitting in front of all the paper versions of them right now.
No, I guess I was rubbing that in a little bit. I shouldn't have been doing that. Sorry, Margaret.
I'm going to be punching holes and putting them in a binder.
But at least maybe there'll only be one copy of all of them instead of 5 going around. And
Yeah, there you go. Everyone will have them
build
all
one
in one
less tree,
central
maybe.
area.
yeah. What were you going to say, Mary?
I was just going to say, I tried to access it. I was denied access. And
Oh,
then,
you were? Okay.
yeah, my initial attempt, my computer automatically went to a Gmail account. I have an email via Gmail. And I'm actually known to the town with my Charter account. But I tried it with Charter. It wanted a password, didn't want to let me in.
I won't let you in.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have to grant access, Margaret? Is that how does that work?
I did. I shared it.
Yeah, I used your link.
That's interesting. All right, Mary, I will try to fix that. I don't know that I can right now, but I will definitely try
That's
to
okay.
do that. I don't know. Usually you can share a shared folder with outside domains. So I might have put your email in wrong.
Oh, yeah.
If you got the code and you can't get in, I'll look at the settings and see what we can do.
Margaret, what folder is it in? Because I see everything, but I can't open any folders.
Oh my goodness.
Is it FY22 budget forms? No. What is it?
FY22 budget. It's FY22 budget.
I have budget sheet, spreadsheet. I have FY22 budget form. I have FY.
Yeah. And you can't open any of those?
I'm opening them, but I'm not seeing what you're looking at.
Okay, if you double click on FY22 budget requests. I don't know if I'm sharing this or not. I don't know if I am.
Oh, budget requests. Okay.
Yeah, can you see them?
Yeah, I can, but I was, you're gonna
Okay.
think so stupid.
So Mary, I clearly have done something wrong with yours because Janet's also on an outside domain. So I have to figure out what I've done.
Yeah, there's a common error with my email because it doesn't use the letter M, it uses N.
Okay.
And so I think a lot of people will mistype it.
it's possible that I did that. I'm going to stop sharing. Reduce the screen. You can talk amongst yourselves, and I'm going to check.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves, and I'll check this.
I mean, it did work for me though. I mean, I have a charter also.
Yeah,
And
I
it
don't think
worked-
it's,
Oh,
yeah,
hi, Scott. Sorry, I didn't
Hi.
know you were on board.
No, that's okay.
Hello.
I just want to let you know, at least it's just definitely not just that particular issue. There's some other issue because it worked perfectly
Okay.
fine with mine.
Okay.
and I
Hey,
assume
June.
Janet's got charter too. I don't know.
Okay. Mary, I'm just going to try resending this to you by email. I'm going to send you a share link and see if this one works. I'm not going to send a message. I'm just going to send you the share
Okay.
link.
Okay,
All right.
But she got the email that had the link, so that's what I guess. That's the
I
part
know that's what's concerning me. So
Yeah. That's why it says it's not that you have to grant access. You're literally just plugging in a link into a.
Mhm.
Because I don't know how that works, but
I am by no means an expert on this, so it's probably something that
Mary,
I've
were you
done.
on last year? Could you get in the drive last year? Because I didn't click on any links. I just went into my drive and everything was there.
I had no trouble last year.
So I think if you go to your drive instead, 'cause
Google
I
Drive.
didn't go through my email. I went through the drive and I didn't have to do anything like you're talking about. The FY22 just came up. So it said, if you go to your drive, those little 9 dots and shared with me, it should come up because that's all I did. I'm just trying to help you. I don't mean to sound bossy.
Whatever the issue is, we're going to have it resolved before your meeting next week. I'll try to do it tomorrow so you can at least get into all these things.
So I'm in shared with me FY22 budget and I just went to my drive from last year.
Mary, did you just get my email?
Yeah,
did.
I had the same issue. Janet, it's not working for me, what you did.
Wow, that's too bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm not sure what the deal is, but
I thought I was going to help you, Mary. I'm sorry.
no, well, it was a good idea, but it didn't work. I mean, I have things there, but this didn't show up. This town budget didn't show up in what I have other shared Google things in there.
Okay.
Oh, maybe Norm put one in the.
All right. So if you got the email, it's going to the right email. I'm just going to have to look and see if it's something with security on our end. And if not, Mary, if it doesn't work, I'll start sending you attachments. I could do that.
No, Margaret, don't do that. We will resolve this.
Okay.
I'm going to send you an email with an alternative email from me,
Okay.
which my computer seems to be defaulting to
Okay.
for just this purpose, so that we don't have to get in deep into some kind of IT thing.
Okay.
would be-
Life's too short, Stan.
yeah, don't get me going on IT things. They're bane of my existence.
Margaret, do you want me to go through the email and see if I can, because if I go through the email, I have to request access, but if I go through my drive, I don't.
I don't think so, Janet. I think it might be something just in the way my PC is configured. So let's.
Mary's not even getting the prompt to request access. It doesn't sound like.
I am getting the prompt, but then it won't let me in. I'm following the prompt and it's
Oh no.
it wants a password and I'm not giving it what it wants.
Oh, well, then I blame it on Mike Ginsburg.
Thank you.
He's not, clearly, you got to blame it on the guy that's not here, right?
Poor Mike.
I had a nice conversation with Mike the other night.
When's he moving?
He might already be gone.
Really?
No, maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember. It was about capital planning and then we didn't even have our meeting.
Alrighty.
Since we do start with a revenue-based budget, I have only, the administrative finance team is only starting to work on revenue projections. Like I said at the very, very beginning, it looks like overall, for local receipts, state aid, things like that, we might be somewhere around our reduced FY21 levels. The tax rate formula that we used last year, we expect to use again this year in order to stay on this even, on an even curve rather than seeing the spikes that have happened in the past. So we plan on doing that. And with respect to state aid, the state has not even finalized the current fiscal year's cherry sheets or state budget. So I would expect we're probably going to see some delays in the FY22 state budget process. I ran a few things today on local. I did kind of it was a multi-year history on the local options meals tax and rooms tax. So I'll share that with FinCom for your next meeting so you can see what's happening in the current year. We won't be getting our second quarter. We won't be getting our second quarter distributions until early January, though. So it's going to give you a snapshot, but you'll get to see what the drastic changes are there. So that's about all we have on revenues at the moment. We're also going to be bringing the personnel committee is looking at those market rate adjustments for certain positions to bring them to market level. And so I expect that there is going to be a contingency line request coming to FinCom in the next meeting or two to make adjustments for a small handful of positions. So the board has already undergone an initial review of those. The finance committee has subsequently met and revised the list of positions to only hourly positions on their recommendation, our hourly position recommendations for contingency line adjustments. So that's going to go to the board on Monday, and it's probably going to be introduced to FinCom next Wednesday.
Alrighty.
The total adjustment, the contingency line allocation for those particular adjustments was about $33,000. What we're looking at currently, June, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's about $6,000 to $8,000 is the adjustment at this point. So it's only a small portion of what's been allocated in the contingency. Okay.
So do we still want to meet with these groups next time? Does this still seem like a reasonable grouping? And actually, I'll be honest, I didn't check to see that we have all of these. I think we do.
You don't. There's still
We
the
don't.
data systems and assessor is still under review.
Oh, okay. So should we push those to the 23rd, and do we or do we feel we want the 23rd meeting being right before Christmas? What are people's thoughts on having the meeting on the 23rd?
Yeah, that's a placeholder.
Stan, I had this thing come up. I need to see my dentist, and the only time I can see him conflicts with the meeting on the 16th, so I'm going to miss it. I might be able to come in at the end if we need a quorum for, any kind of approvals, but.
Okay. Julie and Janet, do you guys see anything in conflicts with on the 16th?
I don't have any conflicts on the 16th.
So as long as you're on mute, Janet, there we go.
No, I said I'm all set I have all 3 Wednesdays blocked for FinCom.
So, I mean, I think we would have a quorum, Mary. I think we'd be okay with, on the quorum front. So, no, and clearly I don't think anyone, I shouldn't say that. No one's doing traveling or whatever, that the 23rd doesn't work well because they're not going to be around, right?
I'll be out of town, but I can join a Zoom
So,
meeting. Yeah.
All right. Well,
The only place I'm allowed to go.
I mean, that's the nice thing about Zoom. Anyway.
Yep.
Where are you allowed to? Where are you allowed to
It's
go?
only not risk state. So if I go anywhere,
Hawaii.
I have to 14 days.
Yeah.
we can all
We'll
go to
get
Hawaii.
Right.
all of us to go to Hawaii if we want.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
Why?
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that
If
where
so,
the
if,
finance committee training is this year? Is there something?
so
We've never spent that money on anything. We should just pull it all from prior years, June. And can't we just go make some big splash somewhere now? I don't think
Let
we've
me
spent
think
it
on
since I've been on finance.
You know, let me think about it. This committee, we did not submit our budget form, you know.
You
Well,
did not.
Don't let anybody.
That's right.
There's
Right.
money out there.
Or reserve fund.
Be asking us for it.
Yeah, we are
Oh,
on
wow.
that special list.
No, that's not we. That's the chair. Whoopsie.
And if,
Thanks
and
for
if,
saying
and if,
we, but that's the chair.
if Julie wants to go to that class and we want to fund it, then we might need to put it in the budget.
yeah,
That's
reserve
true.
from reserve fund. So is the intent of the finance committee to level fund at last year's levels or this year's levels 175 and 95,000? 175 for your expense line and 95,000 for reserve fund?
What's
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, unless we think we're going to need more of a reserve, given COVID.
Knock on wood, knock on wood. Reserve hasn't been tapped this year yet, has it?
Not that I'm aware
Okay,
of.
and I knocked on wood first, so, okay, good. So things are okay so far. Okay, okay. So it seems that, I know, these are for extraordinary and unforeseen expenses. So how are you
Well,
supposed to
sure.
know?
I
But it
mean,
looks
right.
like you're
So
doing
it's
okay.
always
Mhm.
right. It's always a crapshoot, and whatever it's gonna.
It
Whatever
is,
it's
but
going to
what,
be. I mean, it's just one of those. Is there an overall overreaching logic to change it? And I guess there probably isn't, because there's probably just too much unknown. Yes, June.
The only thing is that if you have new people coming on, you may, as of right now, they're doing a lot of things online, but if we're going with the next year's budget, I don't know if you're going to want to include another $50 to $100 for training, because I think it was $50 to go to what's new, or for the new officers officials meeting.
I don't think I've ever been to one of those either.
Yeah, I don't
Good.
think I have either. I know
I-
Scott's a veteran, but
Yeah.
the usual.
Mary went.
Yeah, Mary.
yes, she did.
I think it was very useful.
Well, I went to something way back when for the library, but I think the thing Mary went to is even newer than that.
Well, I don't know that it's new, but it's the Division of Local Services and the Department of Revenue is part
Right.
of it. And they talk about, you know, tax assessment, they talk about the levy. There's a lot of fundamentals, and then they teach you where the resources are online and kind of who does what in the state around financial matters, so that in the local municipalities, we can tap into state resources. So, and I don't know if others are getting the email, but I get almost daily, I get some kind of notice out of the Division of Local Services, DLS.
Yeah.
And all,
Yeah, I don't get those. I know
you're
that.
not getting those?
All
Yeah.
you need to do is go to DLS and you can sign up to be added to, I believe you can sign up to be added to their listserv.
I think the last time we talked about this, I sent around an email that you could pull it off of. Let me just find another
Yeah,
one.
I think I
I think
sent
I
you
remember
out
seeing
one.
that too. I think
also.
I wanted to sign up for it, but it was they're during the day and it's hard to get out of work.
They are having, offering online courses too.
All right, I'll have to look.
I think I sent
That
that
are
out.
webinar.
Sent it out. I'll have to see if I can find it again and resend it.
I'll Google your name and see if I can find it now.
I don't know what they have today, but I went back in 2006. I know it was only once, and it was very useful. I think at that time it was in Westford on a weekend. I'm sure they'll probably do online stuff.
And for
Right.
years, they held them at Holy Cross too. But if you go on the DLS website, right, and it's just, you could do mass.gov/DLS or Division of Local Services. If you scroll down on that page, there is there's a link now to all kinds of trainings online.
But in following up, June, on what you had said about additional money, so what we had, the 175 covers what that's supposed to be dues, and is that dues and should in theory cover
I'm
someone to
thinking
go to
that
this?
is just dues. I don't have access to my computer right now because I broke it before I left the office. So I can't.
Why
look
did
at
you
it.
do that, June?
You know, I thought I would take a little time to just do real work without using the computer.
2020 wasn't bad enough. You thought you'd smash the computer and make your
Yep.
life that much harder.
You know, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it was just, I think it was 175 was what the dues were last year, if I remember correctly. So that wouldn't give you any extra for anything else other than dues.
Gotcha. Well then, yeah.
Tomorrow's class is navigating the tax title and foreclosures. That's tomorrow's class. Just in case you wanted to know.
No, it's a
Yeah.
shame I have to work.
You can join, you can join all the treasurer collectors out there.
Janet, I took a day off work to do the thing.
Well,
because it's all day.
Unfortunately, with COVID, they're not letting any nurses take any days off. I'm sorry. I wish I could, but I can't.
I'm hoping that they were going to do it online this year is what I
Yeah.
was kind of thinking. I haven't seen it come out yet though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked for your email and it didn't have an online one in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will check.
All right. So then do I owe a budget package then to Margaret and June? Yes, I do.
Well, what I could do, Stan, if you'd like, I can fill out, if FinCom would like to vote the amounts for each of these, you've got 2 lines total. I
wouldn't
could
it be
fill
easy?
out I could fill out the sheets for you and then we could attach your minutes. So,
I like that.
I do too. Would we entertain a motion on the reserve fund? We'll start with that one.
I move that we submit a budget proposal for $95,000 in the Finance Committee Reserve Fund. How am I doing, Stan? Did I get all the words in there we need?
I think so, yeah.
Julie
But
seconds.
I can second, right? I just can't, I can't bring up motions or
I'll second.
Janet seconds.
Okay.
Anyone uncomfortable with that number? Any reason to not go with that number? All
Julie,
right.
are you okay with what I said with the motion?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, hearing no further discussion, roll call vote. Stan, aye.
Mary, I.
Janet, I.
Julie, I.
Motion carries 4-0, 4-0.
I'll submit it to June tomorrow for review and approval.
Yeah, get
And
right on that.
submission back
Margaret.
to me.
Yeah.
Don't we have to do the other part too?
Right.
Yeah.
So then I guess then the real question is having discussed all of that about the potential extra money for training, and do we think that there would still be a charge then if it does go online this year? Is there a charge for it, or we just don't know?
It's online. Most of the courses have been for free or very minimal. But again, I think it was $50. Mary, do you remember? Was it 50 or was it 80?
It was either 50 or 90, something like that. It was under 100.
Yeah.
If you give me a minute, I think I can find it, what I paid.
Well, I mean, we could submit it for $275, I guess, and see if FinCom will approve it.
We asked for level funding.
That's true.
Good.
That's a good point. But that was for non-essential.
Right, yes.
How many of us are there?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to.
There's 5 of us, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Yeah.
Not
I mean,
just
Scott
count all
said
of
he's-
us.
Well, Mary's done it, and Scott has done it a while ago.
There might be another training that she might like to go to, and if they're $90 now, I know we're supposed to be level funding. Would it not make sense to? I don't even know how much you had suggested. I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, we hadn't actually had a number. We had the 175 for dues, which again, what are we getting with those dues anyway?
Oh, you can go to the Mass Association of Finance Committee meetings. Some of those are excellent.
riveting.
Well, if you're into that kind of stuff, yes. So they're they can be very, very good.
I think you also get a handbook now too.
Ooh, ooh la la.
Yep. Hey, never
Should
know.
we do $100 a piece? That would cover the 90. And if they go up, I'm just saying, if we don't use it, it's sitting there.
Right, it's just.
Does that
in
sound
keeping
reasonable
with-
to people?
It's just gonna stick out when we're talking about level budgets. When we start tossing around that spreadsheet and we've got the finance committee's line item that's up by 500%, might be kind of a big red flag in the COVID environment.
How much were you just talking about for training? I was thinking,
$100 a person, but
I was thinking if you could reduce the reserve fund by $500 and increase your expense line by $500 or something. I know they're different account lines, but it's it's a shift in costs. So, just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, but what real control do we? I mean, when you get down to it, what real control do we have? The reserve fund is not. Sure, it falls under us, but we can't exactly like do things to make that any better. I guess we sort of can by trying to steer requests, but we're trying to squash requests. But
I guess that was my question. How much was in our training line item? I can't.
0.
Oh.
We have 175 for dues and nothing else.
Well,
There is a on the website under the Mass Gov, they do have municipal finance for new officials.
Oh, good.
And they do have a list of all sorts of classes, or maybe they're not classes per se, but as far as financial management teams and annual budget process and things like that. So there's a lot of things that are on right now.
Well, I'm on that site, so tell me which one to click, June.
It actually says municipal finance for new officials.
Municipal,
Oh, you know what, June, can you share your screen?
Maybe.
because I'm not seeing that on my site.
Let me see.
I see municipal finance legal, municipal finance technical.
I have
Sherry,
to be allowed to. No.
Okay, I can share my screen, June.
Okay.
Let me just, that way you'll be able to see the URL.
I have it up too, but I.
Oh, you got it?
Yes, I'm on it.
Municipal,
Want me to share my screen?
can you?
Can you see Municipal Finance Training and Resource Center?
Well, I'll share my screen and then I'll show you. The host has to disable.
Okay, let me see how I do that. Hold on. Put on change role, make host. I'd have to make you host, I think. You want to become host?
Host disabled participants share screen sharing. I think you can just change that option to share participant share screening.
Why don't I see it?
Well, I mean, because if June can share it.
Here, I can share it. I've got it up here. Here, this is it right here.
Yep.
So, yeah, so it's municipal financial management training and municipal finance for new officials. And here it is. There's all kinds of, these are mostly PDFs though. Oh no, there's a video. Intro to free cash, preparing the budget document.
Yeah,
Can you put that in the paste? Can you paste that into the chat, the link into the chat, because that's not the same page that I'm on.
Okay, all right. Let me go back into that. Hold on, let me cut the link and paste it. Copy it. Oh boy, you're testing me. Hold on.
It looks like the local services also have a YouTube channel too.
Okay, and chat. Okay. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Here's the link. Ha, ha,
Well, I guess
ha.
what I would say in light of that is that it seems like there's enough online resources that maybe we don't need to allocate money for this. That if there's interest in any of these topics, then folks can go to them.
And I'll keep you posted if I do see an actual online like Zoom class come out for the what's new or
Yeah.
for new officials.
I mean, Julie, are you comfortable if you wanted to learn more about some of that kind of stuff to poke around on there rather than actually attending some sort of a class, or do you feel like you would gain more from? Of course, there might not even be a class, so that's.
Why don't we? There's a lot to learn, so I should probably start with the videos that are online and asking questions, and then. Is it possible that we just revisit this next year? Because if we can't
absolutely.
Because if we don't even know when they're planning for classes,
I think that makes sense. So I would entertain a motion that we just level fund that line item at the 175, unless someone feels differently.
I'll make a motion to level fund line item for 175. I don't know what line item number it is, though. I'm sorry.
You can just say finance committee's
Committee
expense line item.
Expense line item, level fund 175.
I'll second the motion, Janet.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Stan, aye.
Mary, aye.
Janet, aye.
Julie, aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, I'll prepare those for you.
Thank you. So I've got about 10 more minutes. Do we want to, so in looking at next week's proposed slate of visitors or potential visitors, should we push assessors and data systems off then until the 23rd and go with the others that we have?
Um,
I'm sure the accountant's going to be difficult to deal with, so we probably want to allot a bunch of time for that one.
I believe it. Yep.
Oof.
Absolutely.
What do you think,
I'll do
Jen?
whatever you want. I have no feeling one way or the other.
Right, so move assessors and data systems to the 23rd.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, since we do have both of those next two meetings as TBDs, I don't think there's any reason to try to force the issue of getting those requests in and having to review them and having them coming that next time. I mean, we've got those open slots, so I don't see any reason why we shouldn't just push those off.
Okay.
So if Margaret, if you would send out invites, I haven't seen that, or yes, June?
Actually, Molly just typed in and she said the assessors are all set with their budget except for a signature.
Okay. Well, and I guess maybe I'd solicit folks' opinions on how do we feel like these reviews are going to go given our request for level funding. Do we feel like this is enough to chew on next time, and maybe we just don't even have the 23rd meeting, or do we? Because if we take care of all these and don't have anyone really on the agenda for the 23rd, is there a purpose for that meeting, or do we still just keep that window open for maybe some of these other ones that are still outstanding?
I think we can work on having data systems ready for next week too. I really do. We're working on it now, so we might be able to take all these you might be able to take all these next week.
Okay. I mean, and if you feel like if we can cover them all, then I think we should just leave it then. And I mean, I guess we can look at it next week and decide if we want to stick with the 23rd or not. I guess there's no reason, we don't have to decide on that tonight, so.
Was there a cutoff for these? I can't even remember. Like,
Yeah, some, but I mean, even though some of them made the cutoff, there's several had to be sent back for edits. So these, yeah. So the cutoff was what, November 30th to get them to June, and it'll never be on a Monday again. Warrant day, Monday.
All right, well, do we have anything else to discuss this evening then? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn then. I appreciate everyone moving up their time for me tonight. Thank you.
I'll make a
problem.
motion to adjourn.
Julie seconds.
All right, then I will plan on seeing you all next week.